Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live. We are seeing some of the losses on the Dow accelerate in this session, although it is still off of the session lows right now as we continue to monitor the Russian invasion of Ukraine. You see red across the board in the markets right now, with the Dow seeing the steepest losses, down nearly 2% here. European stocks also closing 3% lower. Looking across Europe, the DAX seeing the biggest losses, down about 4%. The reaction, obviously, from the White House, we are anticipating President Biden to speak within the next hour, but the reaction over in Europe has been swift as well, with NATO allies meeting this morning. Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg saying that additional troops will now be deployed to Eastern Europe in response to President Vladimir Putin's latest actions. Take a listen.
NATO allies condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine in the strongest possible terms. It is a blatant violation of international law, an act of aggression against a sovereign, independent and peaceful country, and a serious threat to Euro-Atlantic security.
And Brian, we have seen a global rout on the back of this. We were talking about the European markets there. Russia, the MOEX, they're sliding more than 40% on the back of military action.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, let's just get right into the Wi-Fi Interactive as we do start to see the European markets get closer to the close. When we take a look at the DAX, as you mentioned, down 4%. The CAC 40 in Paris also down by about 4%. And obviously London in focus as well in the UK, seeing essentially the same thing, almost down 4%. Now, that kind of makes a little bit of perspective from what we're seeing on the Dow Jones, down about 2%. But of course, the big focus on Russia with their MOEX index down 33%. Chart not coming up right there. But if we take a zoom in, and Jared Blickery gave us a little bit of a perspective on this earlier. Taking a look at some Russia exposure, obviously green here doesn't necessarily mean good when you take a look, for example, at the Russian ruble depreciating markedly against the U.S. dollar. This is not just a single-day trend. If we take a look over the course of the week, the Russian ruble already on the trend of decelerating against the U.S. dollar, but it was the action overnight with the announcement of the invasion that really shot the Russian ruble down against the U.S. dollar. Again, MOEX down over 33%. But take a look at one way that U.S. investors can get exposure to Russia, which is the RSX, the Van Eck Vectors Russia ETF. Get this, down almost 26% over a 5-day period, down by about 45%. So very interesting to see all of that. And then one last thing, just to kind of take a look back at the U.S. macro picture. When we take a look at the VIX index, which currently at a 34 handle. Again, the ramp up has been over the 5 days where we've continued to get these headlines, but we have not seen a handle this large on the VIX since 2020. So again, showing how jittery investors are right now. And then one last point to bring up here, US dollar index up to 97. I believe this is actually the highest that we've seen in 19 months. So everyone rushing for US dollar denominated assets. That's something that should be watched in the days to come as we continue to see whether or not Russia will further escalate things, Akiko.